The ISF sedan was the Lexus brand's first attempt to take on the BMW M3, the class-leading performance sedan. Now, I have always thought that the ISF was a little squirrely, a little disjointed, a little awkward looking, something like a beluga whale, actually. But things have changed. For 2015, Lexus is back with the RC F, a new two-door that's better in many, many ways. Unfortunately for Lexus, so is the 2015 BMW M3. Actually, the two-door version of the M3 is now called the M4. The big change versus the ISF sedan is the boldest execution of what Lexus calls its spindle-shaped grille. I would call it more of a distorted hourglass because I don't think most Lexus shoppers do their own tailoring or are colonial historians or anything like that. For what it's worth, some people love this look. A lot of people decidedly don't love it. I think it looks better with darker paint colors than this. There's an endangered species underneath the hood of the RCF. It is a V8 engine, getting pretty rare in small cars. It is a 5-liter, and it puts out 467 horsepower. That's more than the BMW M4's turbocharged 6-cylinder, which puts out 425 horsepower. Even though the RC350 offers all-wheel drive, the RCF only has rear-wheel drive and an 8-speed automatic transmission. The V8 propels the RCF to 60 miles per hour in about 4.4 seconds. That's pretty good, but the BMW M4 does it in less than 4 seconds. Why is that? Well, it's partly weight. This car weighs 373 pounds more. That's a lot. But it's not just about 0 to 60 times. It's about the experience of driving. And here, I think BMW might have a bit of an edge as well. And that's partly because it has more torque. 406 pounds-feet of torque versus 389 in the RCF. And it also comes lower in the rev range, which gives you a lot more oomph immediately when you hit the pedal. It sounds backward, but this is the nature of the modern V8. You have to wind them out to get to the power. Once you get there, it's definitely thrilling. It's very different from the experience that you might know from earlier V8s. Part of the reason for this is to save fuel. And in this regard, it does seem to work because this car and the BMW M4 are matched at about 19 miles per gallon combined city highway driving. The M4 gives you the option of a 6-speed manual or one of the best automatics in the business, a 7-speed. The RCF has an 8-speed that's a conventional torque converter automatic. It does a pretty good job. It is designed to shift very quickly when it shifts, but I have to say there's still delay sometimes when you hit the pedal before it responds to you. The transmission is actually at its best when you're in the Sport Plus mode, particularly on a track where it does a good job of judging the circumstance you're in and running through the gears appropriately. It's also pretty good in the manual mode as well. Now, the modes work reasonably well. There's Eco mode, Normal, Sport, and Sport Plus, controlled by the knob. One problem I have with it is that it groups everything together into one mode. It doesn't let you choose, say, steering one way, throttle response another, and that is something that the M4 does offer. Actually, this brings up another point. One thing that is missing in the RCF is an adaptive suspension. It's unfortunate not to have it here because the ride is very firm. Body control is good. The handling is actually quite good in this car, but it is not as comfortable as it could be. Again, another place where it does not match up to the M4, which does have the feature. The things we like include the gauges. They're nice and bright. They have lots of good graphics and customizable displays on the left. We also find the seats to be very comfortable for sports seats that hug you so tightly. There are some things we aren't as crazy about. Some people are not wild about the interior quality overall. I have to say below about knee level, it does seem to get into cheaper materials overall. And then there's the multimedia system, which is this touchpad that has, tactile feedback. It kind of bumps when you roll over the selections on the map. I got to tell you, there's got to be someone out there that likes this system. I have not met that person yet. There's one thing we don't like about the seats, and that is how they present the shoulder belt. This system is as inelegant as it is ineffective. The M4 has a motorized arm that reaches out and hands it to you. Not kidding. With the exception of the front seat legroom, all of the seating dimensions in the RCF are smaller than in the M4, and in some cases by several inches. The worst of which is the backseat legroom, I could make this work for a short trip. My knees are kind of digging into the seat, but it is scooped out pretty well. As for headroom, I'm 6 feet tall and I have to slouch. You could make it work, but again, a little bit more comfort in the M4. The RCF definitely improves on the ISF. It is a more refined car. Primarily, the acceleration, braking, chassis, and electronic stability systems work more harmoniously together, and that's a big improvement. Now, there's no doubt aspects of the RCF do compete with the 2015 BMW M4, but overall, I'd say the car competes better with the outdated M3 Coupe.